Hi, my name is Cody, and lately I've been kind of in a funk. Something wasn't right. I didn't know how to describe it. Striving to remain self-employed as we transitioned into living in our first home meant I was doing a lot of different things at once. I've taken on a lot of digital media projects as well as started a dog training business. I'm not sure if the stress was building up or if the feeling of failure was lurking over my shoulder. I was starting to get signs of depression, which isn't good, having struggled with depression earlier on in my life. Needless to say, the more I strived after accomplishments to make myself feel happy, it just wasn't working. In the midst of being busy, I stopped working out and I lost some of the personal disciplines that really held my days together. It was at this point that I noticed my wife's steady nature. She didn't seem to be going through the same thing I was. After taking a look at her life, I realized she hadn't stopped doing her morning routine or exercising. Her daily disciplines had continued through our transition, and mine had not. I know being disciplined is important, but it just wasn't the solution I was looking for. Couldn't have been something easier? One afternoon, my wife encouraged me to go on a run. Knowing it was for the best, I said okay, and I put on my running shoes. As I started running, I realized that I really was paying the price for not keeping myself accountable. I could feel the mental strain of negativity creeping into my mind. I could feel my body transitioning into lower health. And that's when I realized I needed to make a change. I couldn't sit around and wait for someone else to do it for me. I had to make the change myself, and that's when I got the idea. I want to challenge myself in some way for every month of the next year. A different challenge for the different months. As I continued running, I started to brainstorm ideas of different challenges I could do. And that's when I asked myself this question: what should I challenge myself with today? Well, I'm already running. I wonder how far I can run before my legs give out. Okay, I realize this might not be the smartest thing to wonder about when you're running, but due to my current slump in mindset, I really wanted something dramatic to get me out of it. I decided I was going to run across the valley to the house I grew up in. By the time I got to this house, the sun was starting to go down, and I was actually offered a ride back home. Feeling very tempted to take this opportunity, I decided I was going to keep running. I was already over 7 miles into this run. I was taking a different route home, and at this point I had only stopped running twice. Once toward the beginning of the run where I stopped at a drinking fountain, and once when I reached the house. I didn't know if my legs would carry me all the way home without stopping, but I was going to try. The sun went down and the second half of this run just became much harder. I could feel my body wanting to give up with every step. There were two specific passages in scripture that actually helped me to keep running. One from Hebrews 12 and the other from Isaiah 40. Both use the metaphor of running in comparison to our life journey of faith. Meditating on these verses while I was running seemed to give me a boost of physical and mental determination. It was around 13 and a half miles that my legs decided to give up. Even though mentally I was telling myself to keep going, my body slowed down into a walk and I still had a mile left to go. The last mile of this run was the hardest part, and yet I knew I was going to make it. I would start running again, and then my body would slowly slow down into a walk. It was like my mind and my body were fighting against one another. I transitioned back and forth from running to walking until I reached my front doorstep, totaling 14.42 miles. This was the farthest I've ever run in my whole entire life, and technically my first half marathon. Starting off going for a jog to clear my mind ended up being a half marathon of a run that made me want to change my life. It made me want to increase discipline in my life, and it got me out of this slump that I've been in. I think we underestimate the value of self-discipline. I know that I have. Challenging myself every month with something new, and I hope to keep that going throughout the whole next year, and maybe I'll keep it going after that. If you saw the video of me going on a cruise ship, that was a challenge of facing one of my fears. And so if you have any specific challenge ideas in mind, comment them down below. And I've also been brainstorming, maybe there are some challenges where you could join me. I did ask my wife what she thought about the fact that I ran over 14 miles without training, and she said that although it was probably not a good idea, to run that far for your body without training. She was proud of me that I had ran that far, and she was proud of the mental exercise that took place of pushing myself. Make sure you push that subscribe button all the way in and hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. We'll see you in the next one. Hats off to you.